Hey guys, how you doing? Big Guysy up in here once again for yet another spoiler talk video. This time it's for the movie Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. As always, if you prefer a more traditional spoiler-free review, I have got you covered. I'll post a link to that video in all the right places. So, in this movie we are first introduced to Cedric Diggory, played by Robert Pattinson. The fellow Hogwarts student literally jumps down from a tree as opposed to, you know, walking into the shot like any other person. A little bit on the extra side, but we move. The movie begins with a major event, which is the Quidditch World Cup. And amongst all the hustle and bustle, I spotted what I can only describe as African wizards. This made me very happy. Fun fact. There is in fact a school of witchcraft and wizardry located in Africa, the Uagado School of Magic in Uganda. I also recently found out that Hogwarts is actually located in Scotland, which kind of threw me a bit. The way in which the other tri-wizard schools were introduced in Hogwarts was very interesting. The ladies from Beauxbaton strutted down the Great Hall like supermodels on a catwalk, whilst the Durmstrang guides burst in like big wild men fresh from the woods. Mad-Eye Moody is hilarious in a very crazy sort of way. Of course, we later find out that there is more to Moody than meets the eye. Get it? Because he has that magical eye or whatever. Yeah, but of course we will discuss that in further detail later. Now, when the Goblet of Fire spat out Harry Potter's name, the head of the Department of International Magical Corporation, Bartimus Crouch Sr., played by the late great Roger Lloyd Pack, says that the goblet constitutes a binding magical contract and thus Harry has to take part in the tournament. And I'm thinking, really? First of all, Harry's name shouldn't have been in the thing in the first place, so that should surely invalidate any contract he may have had with the Goblet of Fire. And secondly, if he did break the contract, what would happen exactly? Like, who or what would enforce said contract? I guess we will never know. I found the whole fallout between Harry and Ron a bit silly, and with Hermione playing Piggy in the middle. I think at one point she even screams, "I am not an owl!" I was like, Although I must admit, Ron randomly telling Harry to pee off was actually quite funny. Seeing Harry going through the challenge with the dragon was all well and good, but couldn't we see how the other champions did when it was their turn? I mean, I know it's Harry's name on the movie title, but gosh. Now, you can't have the Tri-Wizard Tournament without the Yule Ball. Yeah, I know, sometimes I forget the school part in Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Naturally, the few dancing scenes were a little bit cringe, but I did notice how the students from non-British cultural backgrounds were wearing traditional clothing. I must admit, that was a nice touch. We get a proper look at Barty Crouch Jr. in the pensive scene, played by David Tennant, and it's just David doing his, 10th Doctor goes a little bit crazy routine. And to be fair, it works. Now, let's talk about Voldemort's resurrection. Okay. Now, first of all, poor Cedric, he received that smoke with a quickness. The moment Voldemort told Pettigrew to kill the spare, that was a wrap, like holy heck. Then we see Pettigrew dunking Voldemort's ugly baby form into pot like meat for a stew. And then we'll see Pettigrew cut his whole hand off as part of the ritual. Now that is loyalty. And then we have Voldemort's transformation, which is one of the nastiest things that I have witnessed in the history of film. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe I have found the fate that is indeed worse than death. And that is Voldemort's manky foot on one's fresh corpse. Ew. Now, Voldemort came across to me as a lot more human than I anticipated. He's flamboyant, dramatic, with lines like, "Don't turn your back on me, Harry Potter." And like most villains, he is very cocky. And like most villains, he attempted the good old James Bond killing. Now, what is the James Bond killing, I hear you ask? Well, it's when, after capturing the hero, the bad guy attempts a complicated, drawn out, or just plain unnecessary way of ending said hero. This gives the hero the chance to escape, when the bad guy could have easily pulled that trigger, swung that blade, or in this case, cast the killing curse that your lackey just used on Cedric. Voldemort, you were able to physically touch Harry. His mother's protection, gone. But no, you decide to challenge him to a duel? And for what? To impress your half-baked followers? Leave him, he's mine to finish. Ugh. And of course, Harry gets away with Cedric's body. It's a bit dark. Major spoiler alert! The Mad-Eye Moody that we've been seeing throughout the school year was in fact Barty Crouch Jr. sipping that polyjuice potion. Of course, this was no surprise to me or anyone else who's read the book this movie is based on, so yeah. Now, let's take a brief look at old Voldy's plan. It basically took a whole year and a Death Eater lackey rigging a whole Triwizard tournament just so that Harry Potter can touch a portkey. Like, seriously? So you're telling me that one of the Death Eaters couldn't get one of their Hogwarts kids to plant a portkey shaped like Harry's glasses? Or his wand? Or send an enchanted letter or something? How could a simple plan be drawn out for as long as the entire school year, only for it to ultimately fail? I mean, that's just mad. I think I'll leave it there for all the spoiler talk. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, then please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment below of your memorable moments from the movie Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Next up is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which will be quite an interesting one, I think. Anyway, I guess we'll find out soon enough, but until then, lay a toes.